Hi, I'm Renee. Welcome to my YouTube channel and welcome to my Christmas countdown video series. First off, I'm experimenting with my lighting and my color settings and everything on my camera. I mentioned this in my last video. I make these videos using a variety of cameras. Well, basically two cameras. I have a Sony and then I have a GoPro. Some people use their iPhones or phones, and they will even mention in their videos, I've watched some of these videos where they're like, I don't have to use any fancy camera equipment because I just use my phone and aren't I better for it kind of thing. And I have a really old phone. Like my phone, my phone does not do good video. So that is not a tool that I use very often for making videos. It would be great if it was a better tool, and then I could also be one of those, and I only use a phone for making these videos, and isn't that an easy way to go for me kind of thing? Yeah, that's not the reality. I've come to video after photography, and so I have a camera chosen for its photographic capabilities. When we made our most recent camera upgrade, replacing an old camera body that had some damage to it, we chose a model, it's a Sony camera, that allowed us to do video. But I find the learning curve on video making with regards to the camera settings part of it, which is a big part for me, I find that learning curve to be very steep and hard. And that's why I mentioned those people that are just doing things on their phone and having great quality and they're so happy about it. I'm like, oh, I am very envious of that. I would love to just set up a little phone and feel good about the quality of video that it was doing. As it is, I'm using a very good tool, but my understanding of how to use that for video is pretty low. And so I struggle with all the camera settings parts of this process. All that to say, you might notice light rings in my glasses as I'm talking, because I do have a light set up for today. We've had this light for ages and ages for various things, and it's may come in handy for trying to help me figure out the lighting part of how I want my videos to look. Or it may just be a huge distraction because I do wear glasses. That's all I have. I don't have contacts. So that's always problematic because you just see those rings in the lenses. I am expressing in this video a few of my frustrations with video making. I like making video content about the stuff I'm actually talking about. Like, I want to share these things. I want to talk about them. I want to tell the story, but understanding the tools, the technology, and the processes to do that is like a whole nother level to video that I find difficult. Okay, so just putting that out there. I hope that there is going to be a visible progression in the quality of my video making as I keep figuring out the tool and the settings that I need and how to do that. Before I jump into the Christmas countdown and talking about what I'm doing for Christmas these days, I wanted to share with you a meal that I made this past week, the experience of doing it. So this was about I guess I started cooking around 4 o'clock in the afternoon. At 4 o'clock, it's getting dark outside, and we have these big windows at the front of our house that I can look out onto the coming darkness and appreciate the night descending and coming to meet the day. There is, at least for me, a coziness to this time of day, a real cocooning and nesting feel. The coming night brings on those feelings of coziness in me, but I also do things to cultivate that feeling. And on the late afternoon that I'm showing in this video, I purposely turned off the overhead kitchen lights there's still some lights that illuminate the peninsula so I could see what I was doing. But I turned off the overhead lights in the kitchen, and I turned off the lights in the main living area, living room, dining area. So there was a darkness overhead and there was a darkness in the living space. I'm pretty sure I had a fire going, but I purposely darkened my workspace to cultivate more of a sense of cozy and cocooning and quieting type of atmosphere in the kitchen. I feel a draw towards coziness and comfort type rituals this time of year, but I also cultivate that kind of vibe. And on this particular night, I was just really intentional about the quieting and darkening of my space while I was cooking supper. Let's move on to the actual Christmas countdown now. I am recording this in the third week of November, and my previous video I did like in the very beginning days of November, and things have definitely got more Christmassy in the cultural context since that time. The sun is really bright out here today. It's beautiful. I'm at the Lunenburg wharf. I want to share some Christmas decor and Christmas festive stuff as part of this Christmas countdown that I'm doing. I don't have things decorated in my house yet, and I won't for a little while yet, but things are going up around town and towns. I live close to a few towns. Things are going up around town and in the community, and people are putting up their lights, and it's really pretty. So I want to show you one of these things, and there goes a chainsaw over on some other part of the wharf. So let's just wrap up here. I want to show you a cool Christmas thing from the Lunenburg wharf. It is a lobster trap Christmas tree. And there's some boys in there also. So this is one of the Christmassy things in my neighborhood, and it's one of the iconic ones for this region. So that's some Christmas stuff happening in the community and in the out and about, and I'm enjoying and appreciating those little bits when I see them, and eventually I'll get around to getting my own home looking Christmassy and decorated. But for now, I'll just enjoy all these sights around town. So since my last video, there is a lot more Christmas in the air, so to speak, when you go into stores and all those kind of places. Around here, things haven't gotten visually Christmassy because I don't decorate until the end of November or into the beginning of December. Part of the reason for me in waiting to decorate, it seems like waiting, if I look at when other people get their decorations up, but it still seems like reasonable to me to start decorating or not get decorations going until it's like December or end of November. So some people would think it's waiting. To me, it feels like the right time to do things. But part of the reason for that timing is just because I do want to enjoy November for what November is. And I'm not one of those people that takes down the decorations the day after Christmas or by January 1st or around that time. That's really when I like to have them still up and around, and when I appreciate the beauty of them. I would appreciate the beauty of them now, but there's still color outdoors, and I still want to appreciate November for what November is. And then once my decorations and lights are up, they could be up for a little bit of time. Lights, especially, those I keep up until sometimes into March or even early April. I'm not always turning them on, but I'm talking about the lights outdoors. My own decorating routine is start later, if you could call that late, and leave things up into January and enjoy the sparkle and the lights and the beauty of the Christmassy season or the Christmassy decor into that month instead of getting it going during November. So that's just how I roll. So there isn't Christmassy stuff, in the living space yet. We've had a bit of wintry hints of Christmas outdoors in that we had our first snow in the air this week and a little tiny skiff of snow on the ground one morning. We don't expect the snow to stay until it is around Christmas or even after Christmas. Snow that we get now will be melting, but it was so pretty to see it in the air a couple days ago, and you just get that anticipation and excitement for the first snow and the snowy season that will be coming up. Other signs of Christmas have been local Christmas markets and holiday markets, but I haven't been to any yet. Gift shopping is not a big part of my holiday preparations. We don't do a lot of gifts at Christmas, and I am not a gift giver. Giving gifts and receiving gifts is not high on my list of how I show love and affection to people. I get that it's important to other people, and so you make accommodations for the people like that in your life. At least I have tried to, but for myself, gifts are not hugely important, and I also don't like shopping. I state this because there are some people that actually enjoy it. They like going through racks of things, or they like going thrift shopping. They like going through and seeing what there is. I don't. Shopping is not a big part of my holiday prep, and so I don't intend to go to very many holiday markets, but they are fun for the get in the spirit and feel the festivities and get all the, warm, fuzzy, Christmassy feelings. But to go to markets, that means you have to leave the house and you have to drive. This time of year, I feel very cozy and comfy at home, and there's a lot of things to do around home. Well, there's always a lot of things to do around home. So I don't have a strong desire to get out and see the markets, but the vibes are fun, right? So I think I will try to go to at least one, and I will also take the small Christmas gifting list that I do have with me and see if I can find anything there. So in one of these videos, there might be some Christmas market content, which would be fun because the Christmas markets are so festive, and I love homemade and handmade goods and supporting artisans and craftspeople and local business people. I love all of that. I just don't need to do a lot of shopping and don't really like shopping very much. So I would go more for the fun of the experience and maybe to get a hot drink. I love that part. I love the, buying food and drinks. I'll probably do one of those coming up, but I haven't done one yet, but they are happening. I see them in my Instagram and Facebook feeds. So those are things that are happening locally for Christmas, but I haven't participated in any of that yet. The Christmas vibes are coming on strong culturally now, and in all of the marketing and everything that we see. So that's coming on strong. But my own Christmas preparations are almost all organizational at this point, except for one thing that I did, which is kind of funny because in the last video, I told you how these Christmas preparation videos, they weren't going to be about crafting, and I wasn't going to be out collecting pine cones. And that's still true. However, I did go out and collect red berries. I like to do a small amount of outdoor decorating aside from lights. Lights is the most significant thing we do for outside decorating. I like to have a small decor display setup thing at the front door. One of the things that I like to do is have a wreath. Last year I put bows. I think I tied some bows from some ribbon that I had and put them in there. This year I just want to add red berries that I've collected outdoors. Also, it's kind of nice to make I don't know what it's called, but like a collection of foliage or berry branches that are in kind of a bunch, and then put them by the door somehow. So I've collected berries this week in anticipation of making something. You got to get the berry branches now because birds might be eating the berries, but also wintry, blustery conditions can damage them and knock the berries off and stuff. And anyways, they're going to be harder to find and collect later. Even though I'm not doing anything with them yet, I wanted to get them. So I went for a walk along the main road that we live on and looked for bright red berries. I got two different species. I think there's just two. There's the red rose hips. Those are a larger, rounder, and deeper red berry. They're not technically a berry, are they? I'm not exactly sure what they are. But yeah, anyways, that's a bigger one. And then there's another tree shrub that makes these little, they're more orange compared to the rose hips. So I've gathered, or I guess you would say I foraged, maybe that's what it is. I have foraged some of my winter decor, and they will sit in these buckets for a little bit until I get around to putting them into a wreath or some other arrangement by the front door. Other than that small, creative, and outdoors Christmas preparation task, everything else I've been doing is at the organizational level. Since Christmas ideas have been swirling in my head from a few weeks ago, I've been dropping these ideas into various places. I had notes on my computer. I have actual notebooks, and I have multiple notebooks. And so ideas can end up various places depending on what the context or focus for that idea is. I also copied last year's spreadsheet for the meal and menu planning portion of our holiday. I copied or duplicated that and renamed it and got it set up for this year. Eventually I'll be going through and replacing things in there, but I'm using that as the template for this year's planning. So I had ideas being dropped in various places. And one of the things I did this week was consolidate all of that. So I am more organized in terms of where I'm keeping track of information. There's a lot of moving pieces to Christmas, and I need one place to dump it all. And when I say one place, this isn't where I'm going to sketch out the menu per se, but just dumping ideas there as they come. So I got that set up actually yesterday morning. I was getting overwhelmed by having information in various places, and I consolidated it. Some of the things that were in that document then got put onto the calendar because they have timelines or deadlines or dates associated with them that I need to be aware of now. But most of them are just like an ongoing running reminder of things, and then I'll check in with that document often and see, oh, what can I check off this today? Some of the things on that list are things that I need to buy in preparation for hosting. And that right there, that idea of hosting, is actually the big thing that I am preparing for right now for Christmas. Like I talked about in the first video, our kids are coming to see us for Christmas, and they stay for a while, and we've confirmed all of those numbers now. We've confirmed who's coming and for how long, and we will be hosting our kids for 12 days. Not all of them are here for that time, but from the beginning to the end is 12 days of extra people in our house, and these extra people are our children, and so we're really happy, of course, to have them, but this requires organizing and planning and getting space set up and figuring out things in advance. So Christmas preparations involve those kind of high level, let's say, infrastructure or logistical problem solving, even things like thinking, do we need to get a better mattress in the guest room? Because we've started to hear feedback from our kids about how uncomfortable that mattress is. So these are the kinds of conversations and things that have been going on. It's like a different level of Christmas planning than the making of little things or the buying of presents or the decorating of a space, but it's just as important. I don't want to say more important. There's not like a hierarchy here of importance, but those things are important for hosting and getting a space ready for people. And that's really where our preparations have been at for this last week. Looking ahead to hosting, and what do we need to get ready for that? We have 6 extra people coming into our home, and we have them here for a period of 12 days. And then there's my brother and his 3 kids that will be on site. On site meaning the shared family property that we have. My parents live across the driveway from us, and they have a bedroom that one of the cousins will be sleeping in, and then everyone else will be in the loft above the garage. So Christmas planning is thinking about where everyone is sleeping and thinking about the accommodations as much as the festivities. The way that I've set up my Christmas planning list for now, or how I've consolidated everything that I had in those various places. I'm just using the Notes app that is synced on both my phone and my desktop. And then I have like at the top section, just like the dump here, like as the ideas come, you just dump them there. And then underneath I am sorting according to what kind of action that item is. So some things are things to prepare and organize. Another list is things to do that require time but not money. Then there's things to buy or stock. I've started a list of things to cook in advance. And then I have this nice idea section where I'll get ideas that are like really next level. They would be, if I have time, this would be a nice thing to do. So I have one of those on here. I've started sketching out meals on here, but the meal planning in full is done on a spreadsheet in Google Docs. I will start working on that in the coming weeks, but I haven't up until this point. My grocery lists do not go in either of these. I keep a running list on the fridge, and that's where, like, as things come to mind that I know will need specifically for Christmas that are outside of my usual grocery lists and master list that I do my grocery shopping from, if something else comes to me that's like extra or on top, I'll just write it down because I'll know that I'll catch it then when I go to do my grocery shopping, because that's where I go to make my list, is to look at what's been written down. The way I do my grocery shopping throughout the year and at Christmas time also is with a master list. And then at Christmas time, because I've got meals that are planned out and I want to make sure I have all the ingredients stocked for all of those, I will make the grocery lists, because there will be several grocery shopping trips. Those happen later in December. I will make those grocery shopping lists by looking at my master, what's out of stock that we usually have, buy those things. And then also, of course, the ingredients for the holiday meals. That's all coming down the pipe, but as food ideas and ingredients and things I need to buy come to mind, those mostly get written on a list on the fridge. The other thing I've been thinking about this week, how we're going to accommodate 14 people for various holiday meals, because that's how many people we'll have on site. Our table will not fit all of that. So I've been thinking about different options, and those kind of thoughts go into notes also. The main thing I want to communicate in this Christmas countdown video is that the Christmas preparation is basically getting myself organized for all the Christmas stuff coming down the pipe and how I want to manage it all in my own mind. Like, where do I put these ideas? How do I keep track of them? How do I organize them before even taking action on them, right? I've started taking action on some things, and I will be taking action in the following days and weeks, but there has to be a place that at least the ideas go, and that's something that I've been working on. These are the kind of things that I'm doing to prepare for Christmas, and that when I think Christmas preparation, this is what comes to mind, this kind of work. But it's interesting to me that it's not talked about as much, or I don't see it as much in the let's get ready for Christmas type of content, or get ready for Christmas with me. Is that even a thing? Like how people do their in the morning get ready with me videos. This is kind of like get ready for Christmas with me. For me, getting ready for Christmas is a lot of organizing. A big part of that is because we're hosting, and we're hosting for multiple days. And that takes planning to pull off, and it takes setting up your home in a certain way and all these things. And so Christmas prep for me is as much about that as it is the action steps I'll be taking and to implement those plans. But right now it's in the planning and organizing stages. So that's been Christmas prep this week. I am looking forward to getting lights up, decorating, making things look Christmassy, but that's still a few days away from this recording. And you'll probably see some of that in the next video. I would love to hear from you in the comments what your Christmas celebrations look like and what kind of planning and preparations that requires of you. I hope you have a good end of November. And if you're in the States, I wish you a happy Thanksgiving. Thank you for watching. I hope your Christmas preparations are going well, and I will see you in the next video with the updates on Christmas preparations.